North American politics has been rocked by the most significant news since the election of the new President of the United States. Justin Trudeau has announced his resignation as Prime Minister of Canada and leader of the Liberal Party. After mounting pressure from members of his own party and losing the support of his coalition partners, his departure seemed inevitable. But what does this mean for Canada's political landscape?
I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister.
In the short term, Trudeau's resignation may not drastically change the political dynamics. His long-standing opponent, Pierre Poilievre, leader of the Conservative Party, quickly took to social media to express relief over Trudeau's decision.
Canadians desperate to turn the page on this dark chapter in our history might be relieved today that Justin Trudeau is finally leaving.
Poilievre's statement reflects widespread public dissatisfaction with Trudeau, which has consistently boosted Conservative polling numbers. However, Trudeau's exit brings new variables into play.
After the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process.
The Liberal Party, battered by declining popularity and internal dissent, now faces the challenge of selecting a new leader. This change in leadership could renew support among disillusioned voters who had grown weary of Trudeau's tenure. With Trudeau no longer serving as the face of the party, neutral voters may be more inclined to reconsider their stance toward the Liberals. On the other hand, the departure of such a polarizing figure shifts the public's attention. Criticism previously directed at Trudeau may now turn toward Poilievre, putting his policies and leadership under closer scrutiny.
We'll cap spending, axe taxes, reward work, build homes, uphold family, stop crime, secure borders, rearm our forces, restore our freedom, and put Canada first. All with one mission.
While Poilievre has capitalized on anti-Trudeau sentiment, he will now need to demonstrate his ability to lead and deliver on his promises, a task that becomes more challenging without Trudeau as a convenient target.
When will we put an end to this wacko policy by this wacko Prime Minister? I replace wacko with extremist.
I'm going to ask the Honourable Leader of the Opposition to please withdraw that comment.
I'll replace it with radical Baptist policy.
I am not asking to replace.
Poilievre's strategy of relying heavily on Trudeau's unpopularity as the central narrative to engage Canadians is unlikely to remain effective for much longer. The 45-year-old from Calgary is also keenly aware that he now bears greater responsibility for his actions and will soon need to deliver on his lofty promises. Trudeau's resignation has somewhat shaken his confidence, as evidenced in a recent video where he attempted to quash hopes of meaningful change and argued that the new Liberal leader would be no different from Trudeau.
Every Liberal MP in power today, and every potential Liberal leadership contender fighting for the top job, helped Justin Trudeau break the country. All Liberal politicians actively worked to pass into law the job-killing inflationary carbon tax. All voted for or actively supported Trudeau's out-of-control spending, debt, and immigration. So given that Liberal MPs and leadership contenders unanimously supported everything Trudeau has done, why dump him now? Have they had a change of heart? Is it because they feel guilty that they doubled housing costs, hiked taxes, unleashed crime, broke immigration, forced a quarter of the population into poverty? No, they continued supporting Trudeau when he did all of those things. No, their only objection is that he is no longer popular enough to win an election and keep them in power.
It seems that the resignation may still be a bit of a challenge for the Conservative camp, as it forces them to pivot toward a more proactive approach. Meanwhile, for the Liberals, it brings a glimmer of hope for a potentially better future. Their unpopularity has likely already reached its lowest point, and the departure of their divisive leader is expected to lead to a modest recovery in public support. Moving forward, any new leader at the helm of the Liberal Party is likely to improve their prospects.
This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election.
With parliamentary proceedings prorogued, an election is unlikely before March, granting the Liberals a brief respite. This delay provides the party with an opportunity to rebuild, select a leader, and potentially stabilize their base. However, the Conservatives' strong polling numbers and entrenched support suggest that a Liberal resurgence sufficient to threaten a Conservative victory remains unlikely. Instead, the Liberals' focus will likely shift to mitigating losses and ensuring a strong opposition presence in Parliament. A key objective may be to secure at least 25% of the electorate's support, solidifying their role as a viable counterweight to a Conservative government.
I care deeply about this country, and I will always be motivated by what is in the best interest of Canadians.
Trudeau's resignation marks a turning point for Canadian politics, symbolizing the end of a steep decline for the Liberal Party under his leadership. For the Conservatives, it represents an opportunity but also a significant challenge, the need to transition from opposition rhetoric to governing readiness. For Canadians, the coming months promise a highly eventful political landscape filled with unanswered questions and pivotal decisions.
A new Prime Minister and leader of the Liberal Party will carry its values and ideals into that next election. I'm excited.
As Canada officially enters an election year, all eyes will be on the Liberal leadership race, the Conservative response and broader shifts in public opinion. This moment not only closes a chapter in Trudeau's political career but also opens a new and uncertain era for Canadian politics.